Okay. So when it comes to seed structure, you have a typical seed here, the seed coat, right inside you have the embryo, and then surrounding the embryo, you have the endosperm. So this endosperm is needed for the nourishment of the embryo. It nourishes the embryo. So make a note here with regards to gymnosperms and angiosperms. Both are seed making. But when it comes to the seed of a gymnosperm, the embryo inside will always be diploid, whereas the endosperm will be haploid. Angiosperms, the embryo will be diploid, and endosperm will always be triploid. And under angiosperms, I hope you know that there is monocot and dicot. Okay, depending upon how many cotyledons you have. So this is a monocot, and then you have a dicot. So let's learn a monocot and dicot structure, the seed structure. So when it comes to an embryo, okay, if I divide this entire embryo, okay, the upper axis that you can see here. So this is the embryo. The upper axis, okay, from here, this part is called as the epicotyle. So this portion is the epicotyle. Down what you see is the hypocotyle. Okay, so I'm drawing it out here again. So when it comes to a typical embryo, okay, okay, the embryo, the upper axis that you see here, this upper axis, that's called as the epicotyle. Epicotyle. This lower axis, that's called as the hypocotyle. Hypo means lower, epi is above, epi means above. Cotyle is with regards to the cotyledon. So these two structures that you can see here, okay, this is the cotyledon. Okay, now what do you see here? Okay, this structure here. This is the leaf primordia. This is a leaf. This is a leaf primordia. These are considered to be the first leaf-like structures. Okay, first leaf-like structures. Now this region here is called as the plumule. The plumule. Plumule will have cells. This plumule will have cells. And the cells here are called as the shoot apical meristems. They are called as the shoot apical meristems. Okay, these are the stem cells, meristems here. So plumule, this region here, has got cells which are called as the shoot apical meristems. Hypocotyle here at the lower region, this region here, that's called as the radicle. And radicle has cells. And these cells are called as the root apical meristems. So meristems are your cells. These are also cells. Okay. The radicle, okay, the radicle and these root apical meristems. So the radicle will grow into a root. Whereas this plumule, which has the cells here, which are the shoot apical meristems, okay. So this plumule will give rise to the shoot. So when it comes to a dicot seed, okay, this dicot seed which is closed, okay, the outer layer is the seed coat. So the seed coat has got two layers. The seed coat is made up of two layers. The outer layer that you see, that's called as the testa. And the inner layer is called as the tegmen. Okay, so the seed coat is made up of two layers, outer testa, inner tegmen. Okay. So this seed So the seed that you see, okay, the dicot seed, two cotyledons. So as I told you, the inner layer is your tegmen and the outer layer is your testa. Get it? Now, usually on the seed, you'll be able to see a scar, a small scar. That scar is called as the hilum. The scar is the hilum. Okay. And it is this hilum through which, okay, so the hilum is a scar on the seed coat, and it's a point through which the seed was attached to the fruit. So the seed is attached to the fruit via this hilum. Did we do micropyle last class? Okay, so if you look at the dicot here, the two cotyledons which have opened up, okay, and there's an embryo here. So these two cotyledons, and you have an embryo which is attached. Okay, so these are the two cotyledons. So this embryo has an embryonal axis, and the embryonal axis is made up of plumule. So this top portion is your plumule, and down is your radicle. Okay, so that's the embryonal axis. Okay, so in the dicot, as I told you, that the dicot, the endosperm, sorry, is not consumed by, is consumed by the developing embryo. So they do not have a distinct endosperm as such, because it is consumed. Hence, the seed is non-endospermous, also called as non-albuminous. So gram, pea, and bean, they have non-endospermous seed. Whereas castor, it is a dicot, but it is an exception, wherein they retain the endosperm, even in mature seeds. The monocot seed, they have a single cotyledon, which is also called as a scutellum. Example would be cereals such as maize, wheat, rice. Now, these are all generally, okay, they are all endospermous. That means they retain the endosperm till maturity. And the endosperm stores food. So they have a large endosperm, and the endosperm stores food. Now, orchid, there's one more example here, orchid. This is a monocot, but this is an exception, wherein it is non-endospermous. This is non-endospermous.